This is called the Proving Grounds. We teach martial arts and weapon combat. Specifically, we teach Kenjutsu, which is a Japanese style that uses katanas. We also run longsword and shield classes in here, as well as knife combat. We're also one of the only people in town that runs something called combat archery, which is archery designed to be used against a person rather than a stationary target. We run two sports out of here. One's called melee combat games, and the other is versus combat archery, both of which play very much like paintball, but you use either swords and shields or bows and arrows for them, depending on what you're doing. But it's still paintball-style games, so there's no role-playing. It's just team deathmatch, the more cliched games that are used in paintball airsoft with different equipment. Depending on the class you want to take, our self-defense class and our Kenjutsu class are both $90 a month. And our knife class and combat archery class are $60 a month. Self-defense and Kenjutsu both have 3 classes a week, and combat archery and knife class are both 2 classes a week. We teach, it's a generalized self-defense for beginners. It's a combination of karate, taekwondo, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. So it's designed to get somebody out of a sticky situation, not a style you want to take if you're trying to do MMA. It's meant for protecting people on the streets. Probably an understanding of what it means to not know how to do something. When you've been teaching your style for too long, you start to forget what it is that's hard about your style. And because I've had a lot of new people that are always cycling through here, I'm constantly reminded about what it means to learn something again for the first time. And even for myself, I mean, I am the sensei for the school in here, and I'm always trying to figure out what it is that's hard about the style so that my new students can figure out easier ways to do it. We're also not a school that emphasizes tradition. We emphasize practicality, which means we're constantly going to be changing the style to make it more in line with what works rather than with what was traditionally done. Say for Kenjutsu, there's a lot of tradition behind how you handle your sword, even something as simple as drawing your sword out. We don't care necessarily about if it's the honorable way to do it. We care about if it's something that's going to keep you safe. Or is it the faster way to do it? Is it the way that's going to put the most distance between you and your opponent? And that's what we've mainly emphasized here, which means when we're teaching it, there's always a logical base behind how we teach it, which means there's something we can actually demonstrate. It's not a spiritual, you do it this way because of X, Y, and Z. The thing I'd really say about it is people think it's interesting, but they're afraid to try it. Weapons are intimidating, even if they're foam. And if people were ever wanted to try it, they should just go for it and don't be afraid of it. We've never had an injury here. Teaching martial arts for 7 years now, and I've never had one injury from it. Don't be afraid to try it just because it's outside of your comfort zone. So we have an introductory drop-in rate. First time you're in here, it's $7. Actually just an equipment rental fee, which means they can come down, they can pay the equipment rental fee, and they can just use everything we have available for rent and see what we're about. Every day of the week, every time there's not something going on in here. I recommend people come and try that sometime. 10 in the morning till 11 at night. Alternatively, we have something which is our melee combat games and our combat archery drop-in days. So Saturdays and Sundays at 1 o'clock on Saturday and 2 o'clock on Sundays, we do drop-in for these. What you have to do is come down, sign yourself up, and then you get to play games for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much stamina the people there have.